Throughout the inquiry, we've heard oral evidence from 298 people, including sub-postmasters, senior executives at the Post Office and Fujitsu, as well as government ministers. Now, as the hearings come to an end, let's rewind and look at how far we've come. The inquiry began in September 2020 when the government set it up as a non-statutory inquiry. Sir Win Williams, who has over 28 years of judicial experience, was also appointed as chair. On the 1st of June 2021, the inquiry was converted into a statutory inquiry. The main difference between a non-statutory and statutory inquiry is that statutory inquiries have more powers. For instance, as a statutory inquiry, we can compel witnesses to give evidence or supply documents. However, we also need to follow the rules set out in the Inquiries Act 2005 and the Inquiry Rules 2006. In February 2022, the inquiry held its first phase of hearings, which focused on the human impact of the scandal. During these hearings, the inquiry heard testimony in London, Cardiff, Leeds, Glasgow and Belfast from sub-postmasters and other people impacted by the Horizon scandal. A few months later, Sir Win Williams heard submissions from the legal representatives of core participants about compensation. Then, on the 11th of October 2022, he heard their opening statements. Phase 2 hearings began on the 18th of October 2022. During these hearings, the inquiry investigated how the Horizon IT system was bought, designed, rolled out and adjusted. The inquiry heard more evidence about how Horizon operated during Phase 3 hearings, which began on the 10th of January 2023. During these hearings, Sir Win heard how sub-postmasters were trained on the Horizon system, how disputes were resolved, and whether there was any knowledge of errors in the system. In December 2022 and again in April 2023, the inquiry also heard further evidence about issues related to compensation. In July 2023, Sir Win Williams published an interim report setting out his findings and recommendations about 3 compensation schemes. Then, Phase 4 hearings began in July 2023. During these hearings, the inquiry examined the actions taken against sub-postmasters, such as civil and criminal proceedings. Fast forward to October 2023, and the inquiry announced its plans to create a legacy project. This aims to mark the scandal in history and ensure its devastating impacts aren't forgotten. The inquiry announced the project at an engagement session with sub-postmasters and family members affected by the scandal. Those who attended shared what a legacy project means to them and what it should cover. The inquiry is keen to make sure that human stories are at its heart. That's why in March 2024, the inquiry launched a listening project called In Your Own Words. This is a space where people affected by the Post Office Horizon scandal can share their stories and how their experiences have impacted them. In April 2024, Phase 5 and 6 hearings began. During these hearings, the inquiry heard about how institutions responded to the scandal and governance. Governance is the way an organisation is managed at the highest level and the systems for doing this. During Phases 5 and 6, the inquiry also invited over 10,000 people across the UK to complete a survey anonymously, where they could share their experiences of the Post Office and Horizon or of claiming compensation. The insights from the survey informed Phase 7, the inquiry's final phase of hearings, which began in September 2024. This phase of the inquiry was all about current practice and procedure within the Post Office, as well as aspects of how compensation is being handled. Finally, in December 2024, the inquiry will hear closing statements. These hearings will give core participants' legal representatives the chance to make submissions about the evidence that the inquiry has heard so far. Now, as the inquiry's hearings come to a close, there's still important work that's happening behind the scenes. Looking ahead, the inquiry will now be working tirelessly to analyse the evidence it has heard, draft a final report, and give people the opportunity to respond to criticism, which is a legal requirement. After this, the report will be published. After publication of the report, there will be a period of additional work for the inquiry team to do before the inquiry can be closed officially and its evidence passed to the National Archives.